Welcome, adventurers and fellow world builders. My name is Yadro, and this is Yadro Gaming. Today, I'm going to be starting a solo play adventure of Shadowdark, and I'm going to work by building out the regional map that I'm going to be playing on, at least the first dozen hexes or so. I'm going to roll some stats for some level 0 characters that I'm going to take through a little gauntlet, and from there, I'm going to play a game and let you know how the results go. So to start off doing this, if you haven't done so already, we're going to start by building out the Overland Hex Map. If you look at page 132 inside the Shadowdark booklet, you will find where that is. So to get this all started off, we're going to start by rolling 2d6 to find out what our initial hex is. And I've got some hex paper here printed out where we can just have a nice starting point in the middle of it, and then we'll build out from there. So 5 is going to be our starting point, and that's going to be right here on the map, and that is a grassland. So we're going to start off, and I'm just going to put a G on the map to signify that. I'll build it out a little bit better later. From there, we have our initial starting spots, then we're going to jump over to a new hex. It is a 4, so that is going to be same as the current. So we're going to go up from here and make that a grassland. And then we're going to do this one by one and go all the way around the outside. We're going to move up from there and do the same thing and work all the way around the outside using the previous hex that we did to build out the rest. So we're just going to keep building out all of these and just roll 2d6. It's an 8. It's going to be the same thing. We're going to roll 2d6 again. 9, that's going to be the current terrain plus 2 steps. So if we're at grassland, we go 2 steps up, and we're going to have a river or a coast. Right now, I'm just going to put an R for river, and we'll see what comes from there. A 5 going from that hex is the same as the current, so I'm going to put another R. A 10 is the current plus 2, so river goes 2 to a mountain. Awesome, love having mountains near my starting hex. That's going to put us at a 6, which is same as current. That's another mountain. So we are looking at a grassland nestled between some mountains and a river. I love that. The next one is a 10. So now you go up from where you were at the starting point. A 10 is the current plus 2, so we are at grasslands. We move 2 zones up to do another river or a coastline. This might actually end up being a coastline because I kind of like how it's looking. So I rolled a 9, current plus 2. So now we are back to the river coastline, up 2 for a mountain. Oh, there's like a nice little natural valley forming there. I like that. So now we're at a mountain, same as current. There's another mountain. 10, current plus 2. Mountain plus 2, you go from the top as a swamp. An 8 is the same as the current, so we're going to move down there and do another swamp. Has to get inside to count. That is a 4, same as the current. Our swamplands. 2, current terrain plus 1. If we're at a swamp, that goes to a grassland. I'd like to build out this mountain range a bit. 6 is the same as the current, so we'll go with another grassland. 9, current plus 2. Grassland jumps up to a river coast again. All right, we have water. I like that. There we go. 6 is same as current, so it's another river around our mountains. A 5 is the same as the current. Interesting, we have those mountains that rise up. Same as the current. So, man, mountains all around our starting point, mountains up here. There's some grasslands, a lot of water. So that'd be kind of interesting to see how it all plays out. So we're going to have a bunch of different environments to explore. And now we can go through and we can assign those a danger level, so we know just how dangerous our region is going to be. From there, we can add points of interest, come up with a settlement name, and just kind of build the whole map out from there, and an adventure will just kind of pop up out of nowhere. So let's start off by creating a danger level for each of these. So I made a little cheat sheet. All right, we got all those set up, and now let's find out how dangerous we are. So this point of interest on our starting hex is just going to be our starting point, and that is going to be a town of some kind. So let's find out what the danger level is. 6. It is deadly in our hometown. Oh no. I wonder if that means that there's like a guild or something in town that's going to be troublesome, or if the terrain itself is just bad. So it is unsafe above us in those grasslands. It is safe. Interesting. 4 is risky. Another safe. Also, right off the bat, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this river is safe, and that grassland is safe, which means we shouldn't draw encounters there. But our home encounter area is deadly. Ugh. Interesting. Well, I'm not making it easy on myself, am I? Unsafe in the mountains. I kind of like unsafe, just I don't like having a ton of random encounters. I know that is part of the game, but it just feels like, you know, that can really slow things down. I've got a 2 and a 3. Unsafe and unsafe. 2 at a time might just help me move along. A 4 is risky. And a 1 is safe. A safe swamp. Awesome. I wonder why. Let's do another safe. Man, I didn't roll this many safes the last time I did this. I wonder why this area is so light. 3 is unsafe. And a 1 is safe. My goodness. All right, these rivers, how dangerous are we? A 4 is risky. And a 3 is unsafe. Okay, 2 more to go. A 1 is safe. And we've got a risky river. Awesome. So now we go through and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to roll ones. Well, roll the d6s. If I hit a 1, there's a point of interest. So we're going to go through 2 at a time and see if we find anything good. So we'll start off with hex 2 and 3. 2 and 3 have none. 4 and 5 have none. 6 does have a point of interest, so I'm just going to put a star there for now. None in 7, but 8 will have a point of interest. The highest one is just I'm going with for the odds, I guess. 11 does have a point of interest. 12 and 13, no. 14 and 15, no. No for 16 and 17, and 18 and 19 are all no. So just based on these original hexes that we have here, we have 1, 2, 3 points of interest, and now we can go through and we can find out what those are. I'm going to pull those dice out, and I'm going to roll a d20. We have a 16. The 16 is a cave formation. And a 19, hiding great treasure. And that's relatively close to town. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, that's up there at number 6. That's perfect. So in the mountain is a cave formation. And it was hiding great treasure. Oh, man. In the mountains, too. How perfect is that there's a cave system? I bet there's going to be giants or something in there, and my characters are going to get squashed, as Shadowdark is wont to do. All right, let's jump over to number 8. It's unsafe. The highest one is going to be my first column. So we will jump over here to look. There's a hermit's abode, and it is over or connected a large tomb. What is that hermit doing in there? So we're going to say hermit abode, and they are over a large tomb. I wonder if it's like an archaeologist or something that's digging there and trying to excavate it, and he's going to get into a little bit of trouble. We'll see. So that is a 2, a fortified keep. And 14 is where a circle of wizards meet. Oh boy. We are going to have some fun here in a swamp. So there is a fortified keep. And that is where a circle of wizards meet. Man, I really hope I get a mage, because they could go search that out. So right now there's only 4 or 3 points of interest. All right, so we got our map all completed. We know that there's some points of interest on there. That's already got my imagination going. Before I go too far into the weeds, I want to roll up some characters and see who is going to be delving in here, and if we have actually any heroes, or if they're all going to be not so heroic. So I'm going to grab my 3d6. I'm going to jump over to the front of the handbook, and hopefully we can find some good characters here. So we are starting at level 0. So if you look over at the book here, they get their stats, choice of ancestry, and all of this is laid out pretty well. Their hit points equal to just their con modifier. a minimum of 1, and then we'll go through their backgrounds and alignment and all of that other good stuff. So to start off, let's just start rolling stats, and we're going to keep them in order, staying true to the game, and we're going to see what we roll up. I'm going to be sticking true to these. You guys can see my rolls and everything. So first up is 2, 4, 5. So character 1 has a 5. 4, 8. It was a 6, but we got to get 8, 9. There we go. All right, 11. We have some kind of a decent stat there. 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this person is going to be someone that's moving on the front line. So I can hopefully lose them and not my really good character. But that all adds to growth, so we're okay with it. Second character, that is a 9. 5, 6 is 11. Okay, we're getting closer to average here. Oh, huge roll. 15. I think that's 15 con. So we'll have a little bit left. 12. Oh, a 13. I think that's intelligence, so it might be a beefy wizard. We will see. A 14. Okay, things are heating up. This could be the one. Oh my gosh. That's a 14. Okay, character 2 is looking awesome. That might be the one we end up going with or trying to have survive and all of the things that we do here. Whoa, okay, awesome. 6, 7, 8. No strength based yet, but that's okay. 13. So this could be our rogue. 10. Okay, not a huge amount of health here. 10, 13. Okay. Could be a wizard as well. Oh, lost that 5. Got it anyway. 8 is 13. Okay, another pretty good, kind of above average character here. 12. Oh my goodness. A 15 charisma. All right, we're getting some good rolls here. Let's keep it hot through the first one. That was a 6 on the table, but I said I got to get it in the dish. 6 and 6 is 12. Okay, there's a little bit of a strong one. 6, 7. All right, Dex is bad. They're going to be getting hit a lot. 10, 12. All right, I'm liking where this one. Let's see if we can do it. 13. Okay, man, we could have a couple mages in here. 11, 12, 13. Okay, well, other than Dex, this one's turning out really nicely. And another 13. Man, we got some really good rolls in here. So to do Ancestry, I know that there is a box in here that you can roll on for a random character, and that's what I'm going to do. Let's roll for their Ancestry. For my first character, a D12, a 2. First one's a human. Second character, 9 is a halfling. A half-orc. And a 12, a goblin. Oh, I love goblins. Glad I got one. Cool. No classes yet, no spells needed. Let's roll for deities just to see what we're working with from there. That's an 8. Ramlat. E6, Memnon. I don't really know if these make sense yet, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Another 8. Okay, so if these two are traveling together, they share a common deity. And Saint Turangus. All right. I can come up with their languages later once I get to actually building them, but let's roll. Okay, I've got a chaotic human. I've got a chaotic halfling. Can we get some non-chaotic folks? A lawful half-orc. And a lawful goblin. Oh man, this party is split, but that's okay. So let's see, they all have 1d4 starting items, so we're gonna roll for that. 3 starting items, that's huge. Let's do all 3 at once. Get it in the dish. 10, 11, 12. That's easy. A grappling hook. Club. Oh, good. He's going to have at least a weapon. And caltrops. Awesome. Character 2. He has one item. And it is flint and steel. So at least we can light a torch if we have one. Character 2. Done. Character 3. Another 3. 2, 8, 8. Iron spike. Oh, dagger. Okay. We have another weapon. That's nice. Iron spikes. Awesome. And our character 4. Just 1. 3 is a pole. Good for triggering traps and stuff. That's great. So I think that is our starting point. We have no classes or anything to speak of. We can actually assign those stats. And let's see where we end up. I think in order. It's strength, dex, con, int, wisdom, and charisma. So we might end up swapping the weapons around a little bit just so we're more effective. But he's going to have AC of 10 minus 1 is 9, 10, 11, and 8. Ugh. They're in for a world of hurt. Constitution would be 0, but they have a minimum of 1. So they will have 1 HP. They will have 2, 1, and 1. Okay, HP is pretty low on the party. ACs are pretty low, but that's to be expected. So now, let's see what else we have to do here. Background. Let's go to page 26. From there, clear those off the board. All right, our first guy is a barbarian. Interesting. Our second person is an 18, is a scholar. They have decent intelligence, so that kind of feels right. 14 is a soldier. Maybe he wasn't cut out to be a soldier. Maybe he was an archer. That could definitely be the case. And 11 is a mercenary. All right. So we've got alignment, we've got background. Starting gear is done, and I think that covers it. So we have our characters here. I'm going to roll on the names, if I can find where that one is. Character names. So we have a human, and let's roll to see what they look like. D20. On that 20, we've got Godfrey. Powerful first name. 3 for our halfling character is Annie. Annie the Scholar. We have a 10 for our soldier half-orc, Drago. Ooh, I'm Drago. I feel strong about that one. Another 10. That one is the Goblin, Zeb. Great names. Godfrey, Annie, Drago, and Zeb. Awesome. I feel good about that. I feel like we kind of have it all here. No one gets any starting talents. We have to wait till we get to level 0. All they have to do is survive their first adventure, and we'll see if they're able to accomplish this. So I feel pretty good about the party. I'm excited to see what they're looking for. I have a barbarian, so I'm wondering if he's going to be from that mountain range that we were talking about in the early part. I'm going to have a scholar, Annie, here, who's looking like she might be a wizard. She could be a priest, though, as well, because she has 14, so we'll see how long that she survives for. Drago is not the greatest at strength, but he has decent dexterity, so maybe he winds up being a thief. Maybe he's given up his soldier ways, and he's going to try to be more of a sneaky sort of type. And Zeb could really be anything that he wants to be. This goblin is rather talented. He's got poor dex, but he has 12 strength, 13 intelligence and wisdom. So really it might just come down to seeing who survives and then kind of figuring out where they go from there. I'm really excited. I'm going to get these printed up on actual character sheets so I can read them. I'm going to get the map printed out on a little bit larger of a board and maybe add a little bit of designs in there so it looks cool. Add some symbols for the map as well so we can pull that all together. So this is the starting point for a Shadowdark solo play. I recently just did a 5-session one with just some trial characters that I ran through. They ended up they leveled up to 4 at the end of that. I'm pretty liberal with giving out experience points to them, and giving out some loot so they can level up and get some cool items and stuff. Almost ended up in a TPK at the very end, but I had 4 characters rolled up. 2 of them died in the first session. We found a new person in the 3rd session, and then all 3 made it to that 5th session where it almost wound up in a TPK. There's a standoff between the big bad priestess that we were fighting, and she just wanted to get out of there and live. My little goblin stayed behind and brought my other 2 players to stabilize the condition, so they didn't end up dying in that fight. He wrote some good intelligence saves and got him to work. So I'm really excited to see where this one takes off. You're going to want to follow on the channel a little bit. If you're interested, please follow along, and we'll see how long my Shadowdark characters can survive. I'll show you how to set up the rest of the game moving forward, but this is kind of my baseline of how I get things going, and now I can get my creative juices flowing. But if this is interesting to you, I'd love to have you come along for the journey as I continue to play. I'm going to build out these characters. I'm going to come back and hopefully run a first session next time and set up the campaign and run through it. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. And remember, why be a player when you can be a god?